Welcome to this M46 Patton replay. The M46 in this match is being played by Obaidbd. I'll just call him Obai for now because that's a little bit tricky to pronounce multiple times. During one of my streams in the past, I said to my viewers that if they had really nice replays of matches they played and they thought that if it would be interesting, to please send them to me on the forums, and Obai actually did. He came up with this really nice Patton replay, which is the match you're looking at now. So M46 Patton, the tier 9 American, one of the tier 9 American mediums, the first one actually, the non-order one, on Fiery Salient, so encounter one actually. So Obai here is moving up on the hill, and on encounter, especially since the cap is located on this side of the railway and one team has this hill to basically use to their complete freedom, makes it a bit of an odd situation, I would say, map balance wise. But I mean, every advantage has its drawbacks as well, because you can get spotted from halfway across the map on the hill if you don't play wisely, and you can get shot at by everyone as well. Obai, however, is moving up. One of the enemies already moved into the cap, so he takes a blind shot there, and he realizes that he needs to move, because if you stay on this ridge, you basically just get hammered from all sides. You need to move into this dip to be safe. Well, from everything apart from artillery, obviously, because artillery doesn't care about terrain features. So, just doing some spots over here and making sure not to get shot at. There's still someone in the cap, but during the encounter mode the cap takes really long, so Obai takes aim at the side of the VK and bounces. Which is unfortunate, especially since this is a tier 9 tank and it's the side of a tier 8 vehicle, but hey, oh well. So, side of the Tiger 2 penetrates, but that was premium ammo, so that's not really special. However, there we go again. Same side of the VK. And another bounce. So that's one of the drawbacks of the Patton series, is that while they have really nice rate of fire, the accuracy leaves a lot to be desired actually. That was one of the main things that this tank was balanced on back when there was just 3 tech trees. You had the German, you had the Russian, and you had the US tech tree. And back then basically the Americans had epic gun depression, good turret armor, fast firing guns, but they were really inaccurate. The Germans had really good guns, really accurate, really nice penetration, sort of mediocre armor, but not bad, average gun depression, but it was all about sniping with these tanks. And then you had the Russians, which basically had pretty bad accuracy on paper, ginormous alpha most of the time, and pretty meh penetration, but quite nice armor. So that was actually quite a nice way to balance things, but then you got like new tech trees and autoloaders and all kinds of stuff, and then in the end it's really hard to sort of give each tree its uniqueness the way it had back then basically. In the meantime, I'm waffling on. One of Obai's teammates is deciding that he wants to suicide rush down the hill. No clue why. Unfortunately, he's taking a lot of fire, and Obai is trying to do his best possible to try and take out enemy tanks before they do too much damage. Another non-penetrating hit because reasons, and now there's just his I6 left. So, nice shot into the turret, and then we see the tortoise at the back, so now it's time to GTFO, because that guy has a really good gun and a really nice rate of fire. So does one shot on the cupola and then gets out of dodge. So enemy team has moved up basically all 3 flanks, so from the middle, from the south and north, and Obai's team is stuck in the middle on or around the hill. that is, tactically speaking, never a good situation that you want to be in, because you don't want the enemy to surround you, because that basically very much limits your options, as well as gets you shot at from all sides, like sort of is happening now. So Obai is doing the smart thing, and that is to actually stay on the hill, because while the terrain features are not ideal, you've got some really nice bush cover here, and some ridges you can actually use to your effect to shield yourself from fire, because at the moment he's on the left of the ridge, anything on the right can't actually shoot at him, which is good. There we got the side of the T-32. US accuracy goes nowhere where it's aimed. He gets spotted though, tries to put the second shot in, undecided what he's going to fire at, but that one actually hits the target. So that's one tank down. However, his team loses 2 tanks in rapid succession. He fires another shot at the Yak Tiger. This one does actually hit and penetrate, and now he loads premium ammo. So time to put some fire on this T-34. That shot hits. He's trying to stay safe from the WZ. Kills the T-34. WZ is still looking angrily his way. And there we've got the Tortoise, so try and snipe the Cupola, but unfortunately the shot doesn't fly through. So one more. But it bounces. So yeah, this is not looking too good at the moment. Yak Tiger has disappeared, and that is a little bit of a problem. He's telling his team to stay safe, which is a smart thing to do. No need to rush out and die like the guy rushing down the hill earlier. And Obai is just taking up this position to spot. Yak Tiger there, he was safe in the bush, but he decides to fall back, and personally speaking, that was a bit of a mistake. The reason for that being that you were actually in a bush, so he probably wouldn't have spotted you if you'd stayed, but it's sort of a twitch move that happens. Yak Tiger puts a shot into him, puts a second shot in, because the Yak Tiger has actually got quite a nice rate of fire with that gun. And Obai pulls back. Luckily the T-54 takes out the Tortoise, so it's relatively safe for him to move down to this side of the hill. Unfortunately, the IS-6 gets taken out by this WZ over there in the cap. That was looking angrily his way earlier on. So yeah, they've still got Artie. His team has got 2 tanks including himself, and premium ammo obviously needs to bounce off the hull of the Chinese heavy tank. Because we don't know. He got spotted through the bush cover. Quite interesting spotting mechanics in this game sometimes. WZ takes forever to aim and luckily snaps it into his tracks. He snaps a shot into the front of the tank and decides to get out because the enemy team still has Artie. Although the Artie seems surprisingly ineffective at actually doing stuff at the moment. Spots the Yak Tiger and decides that that's the better thing to shoot. Ah, there we go. Artie actually shot the T-54, so he died. Obai moves up the ridge in bush cover. And now you've got a sort of a Mexican standoff because, yeah, he's a one-shot for the WZ. Decides to fire one into the building. Doesn't get spotted. And then has a little bit of a moment to think about what he's going to do. I mean, you can go around the right to try and flank the guy. However, though, terrain features on that side are not great, so Obai does the smart thing and actually moves back uphill. Because you've got some really nice ridges here on the right that if you stay in them, even if you get spotted, you're relatively safe. He doesn't get spotted so far. I would personally rotate my turret to the right if I was moving up the hill, just so you can get a snapshot of if you get spotted. But he gets on the hill unscathed. So yeah, back to that really nice spotting bush he was in earlier to see if we can spot that Chinese heavy in the gap. Doesn't get spotted. So Obai fires a shot into the building, trying to destroy the buildings in the cap. And there, the enemy tank gets spotted. But Obai doesn't, because the turret of the heavy is actually behind the building, so he doesn't see anything. Obai reloads a premium shell, fires and kills the WZ. So that's 8 kills, so that's a Radley Walters to begin with. Enemy RT fires into the cap because he probably thought that Obai was driving down the buildings rather than shooting them down. So yeah, that just leaves RT now. And as we can see, he's done a 4.5k damage that we've seen. But that's not all the damage he did, however. He did get a Radley Walter so far. He did get a defender for killing that guy in the cap. And now the WZ is calling the Patton a camper while camping himself in the cap circle. So, yeah, logic all around. And then this Yak Tiger says something in a language that I don't speak, so I don't know, and telling people to report him for what exactly? Playing well? I mean, some people are just funny. So now Obai just has to make sure that RT doesn't shotgun him in the face with their terrible accuracy, little joke, and just has to stay alive. He's capping it out. There's 4 minutes left on the clock, so RT could be anywhere at this point. It's a gamble, going to chase after it. You can probably use this rack really nicely because destroyed tanks completely absorb HE damage if they're hit. So if you stand behind one and that gets hit, then it absorbs all the damage. Personally, in this situation, I would have just shot through the tracks into the face of that RT because he can't hit you. But I guess adrenaline and all, in this kind of situation, you sort of try to keep moving because we all know how bad RT accuracy is. In most cases, they will actually hit and kill you, even if the shot should not go anywhere near you. So puts 1 shot in. RT twitches, and Obai kills the RT, so 9 kills. We've got a Radley Walters medal, we've got a Defender medal, obviously also a high caliber, because he did, in the end, he did 7k damage this match, including all the blind shots, so really nice results. And those are getting the Top Gun, obviously, if you're getting more than 6 kills. Well, mine obviously is more than 6, so yeah. Really good result for the Patton. So hope you enjoyed this match. If you did, feel free to rate it, subscribe to the channel, and see you next time.